Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Advanced Bass Fishing, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check today's video out. Guys, today I want to give you guys some tips and advice and have a little bit of a seminar on fishing boat docks early in the year when the water temperature is still a little bit cooler. A lot of people don't fish docks this time of year, but they can be really good under the right situation. So what I want to do in today's video is I want to talk about the different type of docks. I want to talk about the correlating water temperature and water clarity. And normally we're talking about fishing boat docks in the month of March here, which you have to have a pretty small window of condition-wise for this to really work good. But once you do get those conditions, guys, you can catch some really good fish on docks in March. So we're going to get into that in today's edition of Advanced Bass Fishing. Also, guys, a couple quick housekeeping tips. Just want to invite everybody, anyone interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me, you can do that by going to my Facebook page, Randy Blaukat Professional Angler, and just shoot me a private message, and I'll get you all set up with that. And also, guys, please check out my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video. They got a big spring fishing sale going on right now, 25% off on about everything. And we got some other deals going on. I'll put all those links in the description if you want to take advantage of that. And it's a good way to help the channel out too, and I really appreciate it. Okay, guys, living here in Missouri, you know, I grew up fishing docks. I mean, two of the lakes I fished a lot growing up and still do today are Lake of the Ozarks and Grand Lake in Oklahoma. And both of those lakes have, I think they got over 100,000 docks on both of those lakes. I mean, it's wall-to-wall docks there. So I've had a lot of dock experience on the floating type of docks, and then I've also fished a lot of the piling type docks that are more in the southeast that are, you know, affixed in the water with like telephone poles. And bass relate to both of those a little bit different. So what I want to do in today's video is I want to really talk a little bit about both of those and catching bass in the early part of the year with it. Now, when we're talking about early season boat dock fishing, we're talking about usually water temperatures in the upper 40s to maybe to the mid 50s, late February, March, maybe early April, that type of a thing. And bass will relate to boat docks different this time of year than any other time of year. Now, usually my favorite way to fish a boat dock is I like to fish around the walkway area, the inside part of the dock where the walkway attaches to the dock itself. Most of the year when the water temperature is over 60 degrees, these are the best places to fish, but not so much when the water's cooler. There's a couple different things. Now, the first thing that I like to do as far as early season boat dock fishing on the floating docks, the ones that do not have pilings on it, is I like to fish a deep dive and jerk bait around the sides of those docks. So I'll take something like that Megabass 110+1 or the 110+2, something that gets down pretty quick, and I'll throw it down the front side of the dock. You know, usually I'll approach the dock, I'll throw it right down the front side as close to the dock as I can get it, and then on both sides of the dock. And I try to pause a little bit and fish it slow once it gets down to the maximum depth. And the reason you want to use the deep diving jerk bait is you need to get that bait down in a hurry, because say, for example, if you cast down the sides of the docks, you don't have a lot of distance to get the bait deep. So having a deep diving jerk bait will get it down a little bit deeper. And just try to keep it as close to the side of the dock as you can and just work it slow around those docks. A lot of those fish, when the water's cold, they'll suspend around those docks. They'll suspend around any brush that's on the docks. And I've caught some really nice fish, especially when that water temperature is right around 50 degrees on a deep diving jerk bait around those docks. Now, the other technique I use on the floating dock is I like to fish a finesse jig in the boat slips. So normally what I'll do is I'll take a little finesse jig, and also, guys, we're getting ready to come out with my new Blaukat throwback finesse jig, probably be out within the next month. But a little bitty finesse jig, like a brown or green pumpkin, and try to get in those boat slips that are in anywhere between, say, 10 to 20 foot of water, and pitch that little finesse jig all the way back as far as you can back in the boat slip, peel the line out, let it fish vertical, and just fish that little finesse jig slow in and around those docks. Now, when you're around these docks, pay close attention for brush, because a lot of the docks have man-made brush on them for crappie, draws crappie in, and fishing the deeper brush around those boat docks is a really good way to catch them when the water's cold. In fact, the colder the water, the better the brush works. So as you're working around the dock, pay close attention if you do see any brush, and then back off and cast over there to it. You can also cast a jerk bait over the top of that brush too if you see it. Now, the piling type dock's a little bit different. because a lot of times the piling docks, they're either in real shallow water or they can be in deeper water based upon where they're positioned at. In the cooler water, in the cooler weather of the early spring, you want to concentrate on those piling docks that are on the main lake that drop off deeper, because a lot of the main lake piling docks, I'll give you a prime example, like on Lake Chickamauga in Tennessee, they got a lot of them. What I'm talking about here is you'll have some of those pilings, the deeper pilings will be out in 10 to 15 feet of water, and there's some deep water access there. And same type of deal, guys. The little finesse jig around those pilings is really good fishing deeper on the outside part of the pilings. Now, if I'm fishing a piling dock, I do like a little bit cleaner water, so I like that water visibility to be around 4 feet. Now, this can be a really good technique on a lake like Lake Murray in South Carolina, Lake Norman in North Carolina, Chickamauga, some of the TVA lakes, maybe even some parts of Lake Gunnersville on the lower end. But fishing those deeper pilings with a little finesse jig is a really, really good way to catch them. So it's a pretty simple approach. I mean, from my standpoint, what I've seen fishing docks, all you need is a deep diving jerkbait and a finesse jig, and just take your time, try to concentrate around the little bit deeper part of the dock, and just a really good way to catch those bigger pre-spawn fish. So hope it helps you guys out. We'll talk later.